Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Penny Pincher Firearms. Today, I have what I consider to be kind of a gem. I hear a lot lately about the Maverick 88 because Hickok 45 made an episode, and a lot of people were requesting that he make an episode about the Maverick 88. So I thought I'd bring out my H&R Pardner pump. It says on here H&R 1871. I don't know. I don't think pump action was around in the 1870s, but whatever. It's a 12 gauge shotgun. I bought it at a Walmart in Oregon for $187. Originally, it had a full length barrel, but in the field, I got some stuff in there, I guess, and it blew out the bore just at where the choke was. So I was able to cut it and file it and make it look nice and clean. I put on this high visibility sight, and then I actually took another one of those high visibility sights, took out the fluorescent plastic, and kind of made a ghost ring sight, and it works really well for slugs. Like I said, it's a 12 gauge pump action shotgun. It can shoot pretty much anything. It's I think 2 3/4 inch shells down. It has a 5-round magazine, tube magazine, just like any other shotgun that you would run into. And it's been broken in pretty good now. I've shot countless amounts of various shells through it, so I know it operates with anything. And it's very smooth now. When I initially bought it, it was pretty rough, and just like any other gun, it needs to be broken in to really wear things into place. I do grease it up pretty nicely. It handles dirt really well, by the way. I've actually I've put it in volcanic dust in the past when a friend of mine dared me to see what would happen. It actually helped break it in a little faster. So that's kind of a cool touch. It takes apart just like any other shotgun. You have screw up here, and then the barrel comes apart. Then you have the two pieces. It's nothing really special. It's pretty basic shotgun. I think personally it's a good starter shotgun. I've never really been into shotguns, so it was kind of a perfect choice for me for being somebody that's never really shot shotguns. Wasn't really familiar with pump action. Most of the guns I've shot were either semi-automatic or bolt action. In fact, up to the point that I bought this, everything I had was bolt action or a revolver. So it was kind of it was a shock, but at the same time, it was really cool to have a gun that, I didn't have to recover every shot like I would with the bolt action. I can pretty much just bam, run it, bam, run it. And it felt very much like shooting a semi-automatic. I mean, it was a little bit of jarring because I was running the pump, but otherwise, it felt better than a bolt action. But this is a really nice shotgun, especially for the price. One thing I will note that the Maverick 88 does not have is taps on the top of the receiver. This is actually drilled and tapped for sights, so that's kind of a nice touch that H&R put into this, which, H&R did not actually build this. This is made by a company called Hawk Industries. And believe it or not, this receiver was made in China. That's really not something you see very often here in the U.S., mostly because, from what I understood for the longest time, it was illegal to import firearms from China. And if I remember correctly, in U.S. law, the receiver is the firearm. So I don't know what's going on there, but hey, that's pretty cool. I kind of like that. It may be the reason why I'm not seeing these on shelves anymore, but who knows? One cool thing, I like it mostly because it just reminds me of the BAR, is this little divot in the receiver right here. All the other shotguns in the world, they kind of just come off and they're round right there, but for some reason this just appeals to me. Can't explain it. It's just pretty neat. It has a crossbolt safety on the trigger, typical of cheaper guns. It does have the slide release right here, so I can run the slide without pulling the trigger. and make sure everything's safe. It does also come in a home defense version with a shorter barrel and with just a bead on the front. To me, the version for hunting is a superior firearm. And I guess if I ever felt like it and wanted to cut it down even further, I could make it into like the home defense length, and I'd have a decent hunting shotgun at the same time having a home defense shotgun. But really, me and my level of training with handguns, I think I'm okay with a handgun. I don't need a shotgun for home defense. So that's not really something I want. However, I would totally suggest either getting this or a Maverick 88, really any of those cheap shotguns. You know, nobody's going to sell you a shotgun that's going to blow up in your face. So really, when you're paying a certain price, you're typically paying, especially for shotguns, for a brand name. So buying a Maverick or buying the H&R Pardner pump, you're buying a less expensive shotgun, but by no means a cheaper shotgun, especially after it's broken. Because, like I said, it's not butter smooth, but it's cheese smooth. Like warm cheese smooth. It's not bad, it's not the best, but it functions. And it does exactly the job it needs to do. And that's really all you need. You don't need a Benelli for home defense. I guess some of the other little points that I really like about this shotgun are the grips are really nice. These are really comfortable. I think these are basically Remington stock pieces. The checkering is really nice, and they're nice and they're solid plastic. They're not hollow plastic, and they do add a lot of weight to the shotgun, but it really does make it feel a lot better when you're carrying it. It could use an actual sling swivel. It didn't actually come with one. Maybe it was supposed to, but when I bought it, it didn't have anything else in the box other than the shotgun, and there's like a trigger safety lock and a few other things, but there was no sling swivels, and it really could use that. It's heavy enough that I'm not comfortable just like carrying it in my hands out in the field, and I'm not hunting birds, so I don't need to have like a really fast draw or anything. But otherwise, this shotgun is a really good buy. It is a really, really, really good buy. So if you ever find one, even if it's like at a pawn shop, in fact, at a pawn shop, if they're selling it for like $200, they're ripping you off. Because Walmart still has shotguns for less than $200. Really, I suggest getting anything, because I have shot a Maverick 88 as well. This or Maverick 88, they function differently, other than, you know, being pump action. The way the action in the receiver works is different, but they're basically the same price point shotgun. They're just what you need to get the job done. And you know what? They're both really good shotguns. This just happens to be the one that I own and I really like. So, you know, if you need something like that, go for it. Go to Walmart, go to a pawn shop, see if you can find something like this, and you'll have a home defense shotgun. And if you're one of those people that's like, oh my god, zombie apocalypse, you'll have a zombie gun for really cheap. And the greatest thing is shotgun ammunition is always going to be cheap because it's cheap to manufacture. You don't need a lot of gunpowder to make shotgun shells. They're made of plastic and like really cheap brass. Not so much foil, but sheets. And everything's just really cheap in them. So you can always have really good quality ammunition, even at really low prices, and have a gun that you can shoot pretty much forever. I don't see this thing wearing out anytime soon. So yeah, just remember guys, a good gun doesn't have to cost a pretty penny.